Kabbalah is the HTML inside the internet right now that's making this all work.
Kabbalah is definitely something I've been super interested in.
Great. Me too. Me too. And then you climb one of those peaks, and you can see 1,000 more mountain peaks. So I'm like maybe 2 mountain peaks in the couple. You know, like, ooh, I made it somewhere.
I love questions that lead to just billions more questions.
Yeah. Yes.
A little thing. And it has Hebrew on the other side.
Oh my goodness. Where'd you get that?
On the road trip in the last city.
Like you found that in a store somewhere?
Yeah, it was like a thrifty, secondhandy stuff.
That is so cool. One of the most common name for God is in Judaism is Hashem. Hashem Sheli Pesach. My name is Pesach. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I never made that connection.
Hashem Sheli. My godliness is Pesach. Yeah.
Cool.
It's incredible. It's so, and that's what the masters could do, by the way. That's what the Baal Shem Tov. Baal Shem Tov, the master of good naming.
Whoa.
Tov means good. Baal means a master. The master of good naming. And some Jews follow opinions that are rooted in the Great Conversation, and some people are just like, choose your own adventure from scratch. Okay.
What's interesting is the more choose your own adventure, I find it's based over kind of doing what you want and then finding a rule that enables you to do that rather than knowing the rule,
right,
and then starting with the rule and then following it with the action.
It can be.
But I always try to think they're like redeeming values of everyone.
I'm not a master of Amalek, but
I respect that. Baruch Hashem, you're not a master of Amalek.
I'll tell you a quick story about him because you're an animal lover and your name is Moose. I apologize if I'm wrong.
It's okay.
But capiche?
Kapash.
You dig it?
Oh yeah.
It did become a lot more rigid, but we also have, we have it today.
Right. Instead of when they were like persecuting everyone for Jews praying
PPPing. Yep. Participating, practicing, praying. Not proselytizing. We don't proselytize. Nope. Prognosticating. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Perpetuating. You were perpetuating.
Yes.
Yeah. The animal and his flatulence went away. Okay. Judah the Prince. He wrote the Mishnah. Flatulence is, by the way, a big problem because.
Why is that?
That's a good question. It has something to do with the mechanics of the sacred spirit, the dwelling of the sacred spirit. I don't know all the details about how the Shekinah works, but it has something to do with that.
No, but I remember you talking about this a long time ago at camp.
It's one of the coolest. We ought to learn it together because it basically, it talks about how delicate and amazing our bodies are. And I know that's something that's probably more, you're more aware of than most people nowadays.
Well, yeah, it's pretty relevant.
Yeah, it's relevant for everybody, but it's more up for you. It's just how incredibly delicate and intricate, and if certain levels or fluids or things or tubes, if something the prayer says, if one of my tubes that's supposed to be closed is open, it can mess up everything.
So it's less about the physicality of it and more about the spiritual closeness?
Yeah, well, according to that one rabbi. According to that one rabbi. Secondly, there's a question of our proximity to God. For Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, the relationship between God and the Jews supersedes all physical barriers.
Huh. Sorry,
Okay, that's a
had to
cool,
move for a
that's a
second.
cool opinion, right?
Yeah, that's really, huh.
Yomi.
I have so much
And
to think about. Oh my gosh.
dude, this is like also one snowflake in a snow mountain.
That's
It's
crazy.
one snowflake. When you squeeze truth into the world, it usually farts out a bunch of nonsense. Also, right? Like just like the wax on a stamp, right? Like when you put the word emet into the back of an envelope, there's a protrusion going out in the other direction. And unfortunately, in this world, if you've noticed, Moose, when you try to speak truth into this world, there's also gonna be a farting out of a lot of nonsense.
Oh yeah.
Um, okay. The end game, which is really going to be a new beginning game in Judaism, as you probably know, is sort of the Messianic era, the Olam Haba, the world to come, when the lion will lay with the lamb, right? When people won't learn war anymore. We've sung about it together on many Friday nights, haven't we? We sang, Lo yisa goy al goy cheref, lo yilmedu od milchama. Ha! לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו מלחמה. לא יישא That's everyone's favorite part, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Does the priest decide, or does the priest decide on behalf of like Hashem with that whole casting aside their own benefit or to that judgment?
In general, Moose, we don't trust people to do
Eh,
that.